Hello, my name's Snacky Chan, and I'm a sassy llama. Sassy llama who loves virtual reality. Now, you may have noticed in the title that it's like something along the lines of VR is missing something. And I'm saying this out for the improvement of it. Now, there's nothing wrong with it as it is. It's not perfect. It's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, there are some iterations which are better than others. I've only tried a couple of them myself. But this is kind of this first semi-scripted thing I've done for YouTube ever. Trust me, ever. And I'm not here to demonize VR. I'm also not saying it's perfect, like I've mentioned last 30 seconds ago. But trust me, I've been there quite a while. As you can see in videos, I've been in there countless hours outside of videos too. And on the first day I got it, well, the next day really, because I got it and then managed to set it up on the night so it was all ready, and then had to go to sleep because it was my day off the next day and I couldn't wait, blah blah blah. I crippled myself because I was never used to that much exercise. And trust me, it was hilarious to everyone else but myself. But I'm usually a lazy bugger, but that's it. There's something else that kind of bothers me about VR, and it's not the lack of certain video games like decent fantasy RPGs. I mean, there are some out there which I've yet to test, mainly because of monetary issues like money. There's not games that... It's not really the games that are direct film knockoff type things, where a film would go, here's a VR experience of John Wick, here's a VR experience of Spider-Man Homecoming. When you look at those, they tend to be a very, very extremely scripted game with not much extra to do other than follow the instructions you're told, and that's it. The current price of the hardware is a bit of a downside. I mean, I managed to get it on a decent deal, which included the headset, the touch controllers, an Xbox One controller, and something else in the box for about $500, and I'm lucky in that sense, but it's not that's bothering me. I'm very lucky to have it though. I'm super lucky because those things aren't cheap. Like I said, it's that when I'm using it, when I'm cocking a gun, waving a sword, touching something, I feel nothing. I've spent a lot of time in it, and I still enjoy it, but I spent a lot of time in it thinking that I feel like I'm not gripping anything anymore. I'm that used to the controllers. I know where the buttons are. I sometimes still get it wrong because human error and whatnot, but I don't really feel any weight or resistance when I'm touching or putting my hands there or walking into a wall. And it's starting to get on my nerves because sometimes I want to feel the kickback of a pistol, or I want to feel just the wall or the button I'm pressing. And it's kind of strange to say that, because I bet the technology's there. It's just making it available to the public's the hardest bit. But here's a few examples of games that I absolutely love, which are very intensive in a sense of you do a lot of moving, you do a lot of basically anything that involves moving and grabbing and throwing and pressing buttons. I love pressing buttons, don't get me wrong. I love pressing buttons. So we got Super Hot, a game where a shooter, their time only moves when you do. Fun concept, fun game, absolutely amazed when it came out in VR, and I was blown away at how well made it was for VR. Because they didn't just take the original game and add VR, they took VR and made a whole new game for it. Which was the same thing, I think it was, unless it had its own bits. I can't remember, I haven't played the original in a while. Then there's Gorn, a gladiator arena battle. And put it this way, it's derpy. The guys in there don't really walk. They kind of trip on their own tiny legs, and their heads are probably way more than everything else. But you're swinging a swords, you're swinging axes, you're picking people up, you're kind of ripping them apart. You're throwing, you're moving about, you're trying to dodge. It'd be great to feel a bit more of that. And finally, another example that I'm putting on is a bit of a weird name, but hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. It is an oddball name-wise, but it's a semi-simulator rifle range with a couple of sandbox places where you can just have a bit of fun shooting some targets, or these robot hot dogs. And they've even got a couple of game modes, such as a snowy place where you earn money to get better guns, a capture territory mode, and a survival horror. And I mean, it's a lot of fun. I love that game. I spend way too much time in it. I don't know how many hours I've got in there, but probably too many. And the touch controllers, while they're great for interacting, I feel nothing. I pick up something. I sometimes want to just feel the object's weight. Like, I've got a box of juice on my desk right now. I picked it up. I can feel the weight of the juice. That's all I'm asking for. I mean, that wouldn't be too difficult to simulate with something else. I'm not sure. I haven't had the chance to properly look into it. I know there are a lot of peripherals out there. Some of the ideas that I'm after are sort of dystopian in thought and feel, and the references I'm going to be making, obviously The Matrix is going to be one of them, though I do love those films. The second one in particular, I'd rather not have a giant-ass needle jammed into the back of my head just to jump into the virtual reality games. Yeah. And forgive me, I'm going to mention something that everyone knows of and everyone hates not talking about for some reason, even though I like it. Sword Art Online. That's pretty much what I'm after in VR. Oops, excuse me, hiccup. You put your headset on, you lay down, transport it into a video game. That's pretty much it. Forget the whole plot, and that's it. In the game, you can feel the weight of a weapon, you can pick up and taste things, you can feel like something hitting you without it actually truly hurting. But you get where I'm going with this. It's an interesting concept of which I'd love to explore further. And it feels weird that we haven't tried to push this as fast as possible. I mean, I'm not asking for The Matrix. I'm not asking for Sword Art Online instantly. I mean, Sword Art Online came out according to 2022? Yeah, 2022. According to the show, /anime, /manga, whatever. And it makes me wonder, where is the technology right now? Where is the peak of it being tested, being changed? Because I want to see it being worked at. I want to see improvements constantly. And I'm aware that computers are having a hard time keeping up with this, what with the cryptocurrency miners making everyone's GPUs expensive as so expensive. It's stupid. But enough about that. Let's talk about what we do have currently, and some of the pros and cons. Ish. It's an ish because I've never been able to try them. Peripherals on the outside tend to make things easier or harder to experience the game. And starting off, I'm going to go with the obvious one, the gaming treadmill. A little platform with guide rails to make sure you don't fall over your ass, where you need to wear special shoes just so you can do the walking. Now, I've seen like pictures, I've seen it being worked, and it looks kind of restrictive. Especially with those rails. I know it's a safety thing, and you need them just because people are stupid. And I always follow that rule. People always will be stupid. It's a guaranteed thing. I mean, look at what's going on with the UK now. Someone's been arrested over a joke and is now going to jail over a joke. Jesus Christ. Okay, that's not the subject. No, bad. Anyway, the treadmill is a bit restrictive, is expensive as hell, and while it is good to get you walking, it doesn't really do much else. And if that, I don't think you can do like a full powered run on it. You kind of have to do this awkward jog. It's a bit weird to do. But anyway, I mean, where it's at now, it's getting better. I think they're improving it to give you a bit more space and just focusing on a harness so you can't fall over, like the dumbass I would be. Another thing that was brought out, not specifically via VR, but it would be interesting to try on, is these special vests that have like little pockets inside of them. Not for putting your favourite Mountain Dew or Mars bar in there. No, those things are... What the hell are you doing, Windows? Okay, you do you. Those things react to they react to stimulants within the video game. For example, in Call of Duty, when you get shot, it will inflate and make you kind of feel... It will simulate an impact. Not a painful impact, which would be more fun, to be honest. But it's just an impact. What are you doing? Go away. Okay, I got rid of it. Professional YouTuber here. And, I mean, that's cool. Who doesn't need it? I mean, it would probably make the experience even more weird, but a lot of the the hitboxes inside video games which involve a head VR are generally centered around the head, as simulating one for the body would be a bit too difficult, as the body has no connection to the Oculus. I mean, the only things that move in it currently are the head and the moving controllers, the touch controllers. And we haven't got there yet. Although, if you could connect the Oculus to that and give yourself like a chest, which then has to move because you're going to get shot, that'd be cool. And I think people have been making, a full body emulation suit. I don't know what it is, but where it forces your whole body. It doesn't force your whole body. It connects your whole body, and you can like move around and you can kick. You can interact with both your arms, your legs, your body, your chest, your hips, your badonkadonk, and your bunions and all that. And that's cool. But is hellishly expensive last time I checked. I think it was 800 quid. But it might have been more. And that might have just been a chest piece with some arm attachments. I can't remember. It's been a long time and I've only scripted this episode, sorry. I will probably try better at scripting later. All in all, peripherals tend to be sometimes more expensive than the actual problem. And our biggest issue right now is me being an idiot and punching the monitor or the desk or the couch or anything, including walls. It doesn't help that I've got slanted walls. I've got a converted attic for a room, which is great. Big room. Couch. And it's hard to sometimes people don't have the exact space that it kind of wants. So swinging your arms around is guaranteed to break something. And I don't necessarily mean something outside the VR. I mean just you. Just going to break yourself. And I've been talking for a while. This is the longest I've talked in a while. Anyway, those are some of my thoughts on VR. In conclusion, I think VR needs to make something new. I would love to see like an Oculus gloves. So it's an upgrade of touch. And instead of the controllers that we have now, we have actual gloves, which allows us to interact a bit more and have the ability to kind of simulate the act of holding something. It could be done. I'm not sure. I'm going to look into it myself a lot more, but something to either vibrate, like create a sensation, like essentially vibrating, where the actual handling is happening. So it would have like sensors on the palms, three sensors on each finger, and when you grab something in the game, it would like send a feeling to your hand, and you're like, "Ooh, I feel that. I feel like I'm there." Though they would have a lot of new questions and how to program certain things, like in the game hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. They would then have to reconfigure all of their guns to be glove worthy, because right now they are working with a touch or the Vives, the Vive ones controllers, which are based around buttons and holding your stick. So being able to physically interact with the weapons in that game, or picking up a sword and gun, or punching something in super hot with gloves that can sense and almost give you a physical feeling, would be great. And I want that to happen. Someone in Oculus, make that happen. Vive, make that happen. I would pay for that. And I'm going to not bang too much because I haven't got a shock thing on my microphone. But thanks for watching. This is my weird little random thoughts about VR, and it's been on my mind for a while, and I just needed to get it out there, but I wanted to wait till I was ready, and I felt ready today, as you know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe to see more of these videos. Like if you enjoyed this video. Comment down below to say what you think about VR. I'd love to hear what your opinions of it, even if it is like negative, positive. I want to hear all of them. Except that VR is poo. That's not true. VR is awesome. It's not a gimmicky thing. Well, it is a gimmicky thing, but it's not as gimmicky as the Kinect, as everyone has known. Oh god, I played with the Kinect once. Llama out.